Welcome everyone! On this channel we talk about the beautiful and complicated life of nomads. So let's begin!
Hi, my name is Lena and I'm the host of this channel. I was born in Serbia, lived in France for 16 years and now I live in the UK. I've been here for about 7 years. I speak 4 different languages and I worked as a flight attendant for 10 years. Most of the people that I know have lived abroad at some point in their lives, so that is something that I love talking about. And today we're going to be talking about different cultures and different Christmas traditions, just to get us a little bit in the Christmas spirit. Okay, let's start with Norway. Norwegians believe that Christmas Eve coincides with the arrival of evil spirits and witches. So the only logic then for them is that all of the Norwegians' households hide their brooms in their cupboards before they go to sleep on Christmas Eve. Well, nothing spoils Christmas quicker than finding your broom broken in pieces at the foot of a tree by some very naughty and mean wicked witches. So I found that one really funny, and I don't even own a proper broom in my house, I must admit. We have mops and things, but not an actual broom, so I think I'm safe. I hope I'm safe from witches on Christmas Eve. Now we're going to New Zealand, where Christmas falls in the summer, so most of the traditions and gatherings are around seafood and barbecues, with meat and seasonal vegetables, and the Kiwis gather around the Christmas tree called Pohutukawa, which is a coastal species that blooms bright red color in December. So that's where they all gather and sing Christmas carols in both English and Maori. So sunny Christmas sounds really nice at the moment, where we're freezing below zero in the UK. Christmas Eve is not really big in Japan, but recently, I think from the 1960s, Christmas Eve, I want to say, I might need to correct that, KFC has done a very good advert and sort of promoted the idea that KFC was a traditional American Christmas Eve meal. So now it kind of became a big deal, and lots of families pre-order even deliveries of family buckets for Christmas Eve. So they even have a special Christmas Day menu, and it's becoming a bit of a tradition lately, apparently. Now we're going a little bit more south to the lovely Philippines. That have a magnificent light festival. It's a giant lantern festival held in the city of San Fernando in the province of Pampanga. The city is known as the Christmas capital of the Philippines, and at the beginning the lanterns were made of simple materials like bamboo and rice paper and things like that. However, the tradition progressed and lanterns became bigger and more complicated. They're now made of bamboo and steel, decorated with fiberglass or paper, and they have lots of LED lights incorporated into the design. So yeah, the creators then compete for the best, most colorful and biggest lantern. And after the competition, the lanterns are displayed in different parts of the province until, I think, beginning of January. So that is definitely worth seeing at some point in your lives, I think, at a Christmas period. The one this year, I think, is just about to start. I think they had a program, and the competition, I think, is just about to start. So go and have a look. You might find some really cool YouTube videos. If I find any, I'll put them in the description below. And number 5, we have Ethiopia, which is one of the oldest nations in Africa. It still follows the ancient Julian calendar, so they celebrate Christmas on January the 7th, which is the same as Serbia actually, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church celebration of Christ's birth is called Ghana, and then on Ghana morning at dawn, everyone dresses in white. So most Ethiopians will wear a traditional shama, a thin white cotton wrap with brightly colored stripes across the ends. And these are meant to represent the wise men, which people from Ethiopia believe were actually 12 rather than 3. And they believe that they all came from Ethiopia. So everyone dresses up in white, and then they go to the early mass at 4 o'clock in the morning. From Ethiopia believe we're going to Spain, and more precisely Catalonia, which has a slightly bizarre tradition of caguetillo, which translates into defecating log. So the Catalans create a character out of a log, drawing a face on it and giving it a hat, and then they spend a fortnight feeding it fruit, nuts and sweets. And then on Christmas Eve, the entire family beats the log with sticks and sings traditional songs that translates into, if you don't poop, well, we will beat you with a stick. So until the log gives way, excretes all of its streets. So yeah, it's I guess we can compare it to the piñata. I would guess that they both come from the same idea and the same place. But yeah, it's a fun family Christmas tradition. And so they also decorate their nativity scenes with small pooping ceramic characters, figurines that are just well-known characters from that year's events. So they're little figurines that are generally represented with pants around their ankles, and are just a nice little fun tradition. And after pooping, let's go to cleanliness and tidying that away. I particularly like this one because I have a bit of an OCD, I must admit. So we are going to Guatemala. And in Guatemala, cleanliness really is next to goodliness. Locals believe that the devil and other evil spirits live in the dark, dirty corners of your home. Therefore, they spend the week before Christmas sweeping up, collecting rubbish, and then piling everything in a huge heap outside. Sounds good? I think so. Finally, an effigy of the devil is placed on top, and the whole thing is set on fire. It's called La Quema del Diablo, or the burning of the devil. The idea for Guatemala is to burn all of the bad from the previous year and to start a new year from out of the ashes. It sounds very reasonable to me and like a very good idea. As opposed to that, okay, I'm just jumping ahead a little bit. We will go to Serbia in just one more country in between, but I'm jumping ahead about, just stay with me. Remember the trash story. That sounds awful. Remember the trash story, and I'll tell you about our tradition in Serbia. But before we go to Serbia, let's go to Iceland first. I absolutely love Iceland, and I will do a video just about Iceland at some point. And I particularly love their Yule lads tradition, their Christmas tradition of the 13 Yule lads, who are the naughty, mischievous little man coming from their mountains home to wreak mischief in the nights leading up to Christmas. And I have my very own little one there. His name is Hurdaskalir. I apologize for my very bad Icelandic accent. And he's a door slammer, so he comes into your house and slams the doors and scares everyone. And yeah, they're all brilliant. I love that tradition. So the original tradition is that the 13-year-old lads come from mid-December, and they were pranksters. They were stealing food and causing havoc, stealing butter, one of them, sausages, and just causing havoc on the days leading up to Christmas. But in the recent years, it changed again. Traditions changed, and that's normal. So they have become the Icelandic version of Santa. So they leave children daily gifts a little similar, you would say, to the Advent calendar, I guess. But so every night children leave their boots on their wellies, their boots on the windowsill, and the Yule lads, one of them visits the home of every child, placing a toy or a piece of candy into shoes, and then after Christmas, the Yule lads return back to their mountain home one by one in the same order as they arrived to town, until the last one, okay, let's try that again. No. Okay. Kertasnikir, maybe, leaves on the last day of Christmas, January the 6th. So I find it very interesting that that's in their calendar, last day of Christmas, because then in the Serbian calendar, that is Christmas Eve, and we're going to talk about that now. And welcome to my country, welcome to Serbia. So in Serbia, we're an Orthodox country and we follow the Julian calendar, meaning that Christmas is on the 7th of January. So on the 6th of January, obviously we have Christmas Eve, and then it's quite a big day with lots of traditions leading up to Christmas. So I will talk about that first. So the 6th of January is called Badnji Dan, which is the day before Christmas. And then I have to do a little warning here. We are still a very patriarchal country, and there is clear roles, male and female roles in traditional things in Serbia. In this case, that's what I'll be talking about. So I just kind of had to warn you about that. So on the 6th January in the morning, early in the morning, the men of the house go into the woods to cut some ash tree branches. So traditionally, a shot from a gun is fired prior entering the woods, signaling the beginning of the day. And then the women of the house start preparing cakes and a Christmas feast. Once the men return, they put the branches in front of the house until the evening, and then on Christmas Eve, they're brought inside along with some wheat and barley, and they're all deposited all through the house, mainly underneath the dining room table, along with some treats and sweets for the children to go and pick up after dinner. So they go under the table and pretend to be little chicks, and they pick up the sweets. So most of the people will go to the Christmas Eve Mass at that point after dinner. There is a big bonfire that's lit in the garden of the church. I'm talking that is a tradition, but not all churches do it. But it was certainly the case in my town as I was growing up. So we would all go there. There'll be some presents for the children. There'll be some nice hot rakia for the adults to keep warm, because it is very, very cold in Serbia in January. And lighting up candles and lots of nice sort of religious traditions then. And then on Christmas morning, a special guest comes into the house and uses the branches from the ash tree that have been brought before to get into the chimney fire, to get it restarted with the branches. As they chant, they say a prayer for the whole family, the whole household. And gifts are generally exchanged so the guests are previously agreed upon. So it will be someone from the neighboring house, traditionally, generally. It can also be a child. It is generally children. Health and safety is not a main concern at that point. But it's a lovely tradition that I still remember to this day. And then on Christmas Day, we all have a nice meal together, and there is a special bread that's made, a special loaf that is made for Christmas with some bits inside. So coins, they all represent different things. So if I remember well, there can be a coin, a piece of wood from the house. I know it sounds so like, okay, I don't really want that in my bread. A piece of wheat, and then, no, is it wheat? and then a bean, so a butter bean, uncooked butter bean. But if you find each one of these in your bread, one of these in your bread, they all represent a different thing. Wealth for the year, good harvest, happiness. I can't really remember. So there you go. That was our top 10 international Christmas traditions. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I wish you all a lovely holiday season, and whatever you're celebrating, wherever you're celebrating, I hope it is in joy and love with your family and friends. And I wish you all the happiness in the world, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.